Unity of the Huachucas presents Reverend Rob Wheeler.
Living at the right hand of God.
One of the things I've discovered about my life, and I think you have about yours as well, is if you want to watch the world explode around you, tell God your plans for tomorrow. Yep. So we'll get back to my lesson here in a minute. One of the things that came up yesterday, and Rick just mentioned it, is as I'm sitting there doing that, my head is not anywhere near where he's at. My head is saying, I'm not Van Gogh. I might even Van Gotcha. And yet, what was done was perfect in the moment. Now I can get back to this. See how it all ties together? I'm right where I'm supposed to be. You're right where you're supposed to be right now in this moment. And that's true every moment of every day. And when, and I use that word on purpose, when you understand that, that's when you're living at the right hand of God. Right hand of God is nothing more than a metaphor. In this moment, I accept who I am. I am a child of God. I am one with perfect life, love, intelligence, and substance. That's why I'm here, is to express that oneness. To choose in this moment who I will be. Not what I'll do or how I'll do it, but who will I be? And I get to choose that moment by moment by moment. One of the challenges that we face is whether we know it or not, we are involved in a process that is continuing. It begins with divine idea, thought. That thought we hold then expresses through the words we speak and the actions we take and brings about a result. When we look at the result, if we're not pleased, then we need to focus backwards. What actions am I taking? One of the things I discovered yesterday as I was looking at the painting we're going to do, it had a place where you could put in a stroke of lightning. Not on mine. I decided this was pre-lightning. Because I saw how our artist who taught the class did it, and I went, breathe. As we were finishing up, I said, I did really, really well. I'm looking at this painting, and I can't see any of the numbers anywhere. It was not a paint by number. But see what happened in that moment? I shifted from knowing who I am to who I think I am. Not who I am, but who I think I am, who I believe I am in this moment. I believe I am not, and then I have a list. Anybody besides me have a list? We all have a list, right? Not if you're working on it. Maybe the list works the other way. I am. And then I have a list of who I am. So I like that list better.
Yeah, that's good.
And I try to live on that list. But I recognize that as a spiritual being, having a human experience, I'm going to have this list. I inherited it. It was given to me in love many, many times, but not the truth of me. Let me give you an example. Great story. I love stories because they point things out so well. When my mother was about yay high, my great-grandmother used to say to her, Phyllis is happy without two nickels to rub together. And for most of her life, Phyllis didn't have two nickels to rub together. It was a statement of faith by someone she loved about Phyllis being happy, which she gently took out of context and applied to prosperity. It took her close to 60 years to figure out, most of which I was with her. Until she got to the point where she said, that's not the truth of who I am. Phyllis is happy with lots of nickels to rub together. But she had to change that phrase of being given to her in love and shift it to the truth of who she is and was. So you have things you're dealing with that were given to you in love that aren't true about you. I don't know what they are. You do. I know some of mine. I know some that I've had to work on a lot, and I'm still working on in order to live the truth of who I am, moment by moment by moment by moment. I generally don't give how-tos, but I'm going to give you one how-to. If you will take the first 6 minutes of every hour that you are awake, the first 6 minutes of every hour you are awake, into praise and thanksgiving. Just 6 minutes. You'll change your life forever. And ask. The biggest problem we have, he said, raising his hand really high, is asking. Help me. Guide me. Direct me. I'm okay for that. I need to be okay for that. But I need to take that first 6 minutes, just quiet prayer. I breathe, I center. Yep, here I am. You can do it really quiet. Nobody will ever know except you. And ask for that blessing. Be grateful for what you have. Ask for the blessing for the hour to come. And enjoy that very next hour. And at that next mark, I'm grateful. Thank you, God. I'm living in this moment. And you can start to tie pieces together. The other thing that is a challenge for us is, for lack of a better word, construct. Words spoken 2,000 years ago have vibration that affect us today, but we have the tendency to take it out of context from time to time because we apply it in a human perspective rather than in the truth of who we are. Earlier, in the name is a statement of accepting and acknowledging power in the name. If it's in the name of Rob, you can draw a cactus too. Just saying. Because I'll bring a teacher that can show you how, not that I'm going to do it. But in the name is I'm accepting power. Okay? And in this case, the power of who? The power of the truth of who I am, recognized as the one in human experience that expressed God on earth. That spirit lives in you right now. Why? Because we are all created in the image and likeness of our Father God. And you heard me also say Father, Mother, because it's not gender specific. It's written, which is another issue, by the way. It's written gender specific, but it's not. And early on, Fillmore's real strong on it. All my teachers were really strong on it. Emphasize, emphasize, emphasize. Don't separate. Pull back together. And I was just reading one of our beautiful banners. And it states, there is power in effective prayer, which we believe increases our connection to God. The statement is false. Because you're already connected. There's no need to increase it. You can't decrease it. It should read, but then this is the world according to Rob. It should read that the power of effective prayer, affirmative prayer, which we believe strengthens our connection to God. Different statement. Different outcome. And that was printed with love. That was issued, stated with love and belief. But the one word for Rob, and I take full and complete credit, shifts my belief, and I need to correct it. Now, you don't have to correct it. Feel free to use increases. That's okay. Because you have to be where you are right here and right now, in whatever your growth pattern is, however you're choosing to express it in the now. And you can listen to what I have to say or not, and smile and have a great day, and we're good. Because I'm sharing with you what has worked for me. I come from a long line of people who, when they read books, they own the book. The reason I say that is because they come with a marker or a pencil or a pen in hand. And words get underlined. Passages get highlighted. My grandmother, and I think I've shared with some of you before, was famous. When I get one of her books, I know who it is, because everywhere the word but appears, she had a line through the word but, she put a period before the but, and a capitalized the next letter. And one day I said, "Why do you do that?" She says, "Because I'm not going to get hung up on my butt." Thank you, Granny. I needed that. And it was just her quirk. But she believed in that sentence structure so much that she took the butt out of it and made two complete sentences. And it's okay. Most of my study books have 3 or 4 different markings. One time it'll be a highlighter. Next time it's a pencil line. Third time it's an ink line. Next one it's quotes around the whole thing. Why? Because what I read yesterday applied to yesterday. What I read today applies to today. It may be the same, or it may be a subtle difference, depending on what outlook I'm looking for. What piece am I working on in me so that I can express it a different way? Is it possible that the Van Gogh could have shown up yesterday? Entirely possible. But not me. What showed up was a little boy playing with paint and had a great time. The painting is for sale. We'll have the auction later. That's why I wanted to. I'd never done this before. That's why I wanted to do it. I can remember taking art in high school and passing. It was not my favorite class. I did better in architectural engineering. I like the symmetry of it. I don't have a problem with imaging at all. My challenge, I'm getting better. My challenge is to take the image and learn how to express it, because the image begins here in thought. And then I need to expand it. And when I hold an image in thought and expand it, it will come into fruition. Because thought of like mind produces after its kind. Period. And boy, that's tough. Because then I can't blame anything that shows up in my life on anybody but me. Why? Because I held the thought. Quick question, how many of you blessed your car on the way to work today? Or to church? Work for me. On your way to church. Bless you, my car, we're on the way. I thank my car a lot. Thank you, babe. At the dashboard. And most of the time it behaves. It helps when I keep oil in it and gas. The maintenance. Why would I do that? Because it's an expression too. I asked for it. Dear Lord, I need transportation to get to church. Why? I don't want to walk. Now, that's an old thought. It started when I was about 12. I started driving when I was 14. Okay. But thought held in mind produces after its kind. What do I want? And I'm learning how to get clear in what I want so that I can live in that place, a metaphor, if you will, of living on the right hand of God. And for you lefties, it doesn't matter which hand. Just saying. Because it's a principle, isn't it? Who do I want to be in the moment? What do I want to do in the moment will come naturally when I discover who I want to be. One of the things that I hold in mind on a regular basis, part of my history, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. That's you, by the way, children of God. Thank you. You're peacemakers. I know you are. We'll sing the peace song in a little while. How you doing? Yeah, we could use some work collectively. And here's one of the ways you do that. When you hear, I will never see peace in my lifetime, deny it. As our good friend, our elder brother would say, rebuke it. It's not a true statement. Now, there's two parts to that. The first one is the tougher one. Anybody want to take a wild guess at what your lifetime looks like? Most of us would say, well, I was born here, and here's where I am, and at some point I shall. If you said anything other than pass on, bless you. I'll move, because my belief is, and it's just wrong, is I believe I will move from this experience to another. I have no idea what that experience looks like yet. I've been told that it's not a bad switch. Because when I get to that point, I will have learned what I needed to learn and express during this period of time. See, I believe that when my father said, I knew you before the beginning of the world and life without end, I believe that. Life without end. Our scientists are helping us prove it all the time, but we just don't believe it. Do you know you cannot destroy energy? You cannot destroy it. You can change it. You can reform it. And for those of you who are healers, you know what I'm saying. You make that energy work in a different way to get past an appearance of less than wholeness. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. That's living in the right hand. That's accepting the power of who you are. And for those of you who say, and I heard it because I've used it, but Rob, you heard the voice. That's the one you need to work on, is the but Robs. That's the limitation you put on you. And it's okay. That's part of the experience. Stepping out and learning the new step, the broader step, the more inclusive step, the more I canness, and the more I amness. And in the words of one of the architects, it's hard to be humble when you're great. Just saying. How humble are I? Well, today, a little better. but I'm learning to get in the flow. I'm learning to get over myself. I'm learning to bring in what shows up in my world and name it one thing and one thing only: good. Regardless of appearance, I am there. God is there. Now I just need to get out of the way, and when I look at something and go, oh my God, shift it around to go, oh my God. I need to get my own stuff out of the way. There's a reason for that young man to have spiky hair this tall. And if you've ever driven by Fry's, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't know what that young man does. I don't know why he lives in that parking lot. Every time I get there, he's there. And for a lot of times, I held a thought that was less than loving about that young man. I make sure my car was locked and I was holding on to my wallet. Oh, wait a minute. Got to make a shift. Well, when you finally get to that point where you're willing to say, I need to make a shift, God provides the opportunity. And it happened just the other day, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. Had to park my car by the tree and next to the place we put the carts in. And the young man was guarding the tree. Or whatever. I went in, did my shopping, came back, I would put the cart in, and you know how carts get all jammed up? And in this particular instance, it was not just jammed up into the little rack, it was into the aisle. So I pushed my cart around and I started shoving, and nothing's happening. And God said, can I help you? In the form of that young man. And as he said it, it cleared and I pushed it in. I said, no, but thank you so much for offering to help. And his next comment was, bless you, have a wonderful day. All this time, I've been holding a thought that wasn't true. I had to change it. But it occurred because I was willing to say to me, you need to do this instead of this. Allow God to show up. Sitting at the right hand, the metaphor is to accept the power. To accept sovereignty is also, as the other one, sit right hand of the king, that kind of thing. To accept all of that, the whole of it. To accept the oneness. God is all, both visible and invisible, one with perfect life, love, intelligence, and substance. I just need to accept that. I am one with perfect life, love, intelligence, and substance. I have the opportunity to express that in my world. How do I express it? Anybody want to practice this with me? Here's how. Ready? Breathe. Again, breathe. Center. Now breathe on purpose. Isn't that fun? I think it's fun. Breathing on purpose. Your body will do it on its own. And what you just did in that quick little exercise, you took in that which you needed, the breath of life. It moved in and through you, through each and every cell of your being. Perfect. Each and every cell of your being. Perfect. And then you released it into the world where it serves our world collectively, perfectly, regardless of the appearance. I love you. I bless you. the Christ attitude.